Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube. So today I'm doing a posing seminar for two bros. I've got a couple of girls here teaching them how to do the NPC two bros posing. I'll just talk a little bit about how my prep's been going so far. So I am 5 weeks out yesterday to my first show this year, which is the Shrew Classic, the One Bro Show. I'm very, very excited to get back on stage. The past couple of days I've been resting as my weight's been fluctuating. As I get closer to a show, my body always gets a little bit stressed, so I sometimes have to take a little bit of a rest. So yesterday I did full day's rest and today is just steps, so no cardio. Everything else is going really well. Everything's going to plan. Obviously I wasn't going to do this show because I wasn't sure whether I'm going to be ready, but obviously fingers crossed in 5 weeks time I will be on that stage and showing off what I've been working so hard for in this last off season. I think the reason why this prep has gone so well this year just because of how strict I have been with my off season last year. So I just made sure that all the boxes were ticked, all the food was eaten, steps were done, everything literally was on point in that off season, and it has just made this prep really easily. I will talk a little bit more detail after you guys have seen the posing seminar about what my plans are for the rest of the year, but I hope you enjoy a little snippet of what my posing seminars involved, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So you all know what the mandatory posing is for two bros, apart from Holly, sorry. There's different ways of doing the mandatories. It depends on what your physique is. So obviously with me, I've got no hips, so I'm straight up and straight down. I have to make myself on stage look like I've got more of a waist and look like I've got bigger hips than I actually have. So for me, and I will go around individually and tell you what I think you should do for your shape. I see a lot of girls when they're doing this pose twisting around too much. You're seeing too much waist and you're making yourself look blocky and you're not making yourself look symmetrical. If you've never done posing before, the easiest way to do it is to stand straight ahead, hips, headlights, I always say. Always lean onto the leg where you would feel most comfortable. So for me, it's my right. And then from there, imagine that you're doing a figure pose. So literally you would twist from your waist all the way around, bring your back arm onto the highest point where it would be where your bikini is. Your bikini will sit about the top of your hips, so that's where you want your backhand to go. From there, you want to slight lat flare with the side of your arm, and then relax your arm down. So from elbow down to forearm, it wants to be completely relaxed. So if you all get into that front position for me, I'm gonna go around with everyone. So I really want you to sit into the hip that you want to lean into as much as you can, making sure that your hips are headlights all the time. So bring your knee round, so keep your hips where they are. So here, but then just twist the knee. Perfect. The biggest mistake that I see is people bringing the feet too close together, and then when they're trying to sit back into the pose, the calf and then the glute and hamstring tying are nowhere to be seen because they can't sit into the hips as much. You want your feet at shoulder width, so for me, it would be about there. For me personally, I have to slightly turn my toes out because when I sit into my hip, I can bend my knees, push my hips back, and then I want an overarch in my back, lifting my chest up. A lot of people try and do chicken wings. They try and bring your lats out wide and try and place your hands down. From here, with my elbows, you just want to tuck them in a little bit. So no chicken arms, nice tucked in. When you're in that pose, you want to imagine that you're doing an adductor. So you want to push your knees out over your toes so that your adductors switch on straight away. On stage, you only need to be tensing about 30 to 40%. You don't want to be squeezing 100% because you end up going to be shaking on stage. If you're not lean enough on stage, that's when you're going to have to pose hard. Okay, so when you're going into this pose, if you want to watch here guys, and then I'll watch you, I always say to first time competitors, easiest way to practice is get a 30cm ruler of black tape, tape it to the floor and put an X on the floor. So then you know that your feet aren't going to be moving. What I see a lot of people do is when they're transitioning, they step too far back and then the foot's over there and they have to really scrape it forward. So when you're in your front position, very small movements all the time. So if you're going into that side pose that you three have done, you're stepping back, putting all your weight onto this back leg, sitting into the hip as much as possible. From here, there's different feet positioning that you can do depending on what your quad's like. Marta, I want you to bring your front foot here, sit into that back hip more, and then from here, it's the same, that's it. And you could bring one hand on your hip there. Sit into this back hip more, squeeze this glute, there. There, sit into the bit. Perfect. So if we practice transitioning from the front to that transition pose, and then I'll go through to the glute shot. Squeeze that. I think you can squeeze this glute a little bit more when you're there. That's it. Perfect. Michaela. So you want to be showing about 3/4 of your glute that's facing the judges and about 1/4 of this other glute that's not facing the judges. So from here, we'll talk about arms in a bit. Relax your arms down, twist this front heel back and put all your weight into that back front leg and relax. This back leg is just a balance. I'm just on my tiptoe. There's a couple of different ways that you can use your hands. Obviously your hair will be on your back, but if you are doing from here, if you can see this arm partly, you either want to show it or completely hide it. Because if you half do it, it'll make your waist look thicker because your arm's obviously the same colour as your skin and your waist. So if you bring your arm close there, your waist is just going to look 10 times thicker than what it actually is. If you're transitioning from here, you would do the same thing, relaxing your arms down, twisting the heel round as much as possible. So as I'm twisting round, I'm moving my heel towards the judges on a slight angle, pushing my hips back. For me, I always relax my back arm onto my back leg to make sure that I show my arm rather than hide it, because I can't hide it too far around. So if we all practice transitioning from side transition to the glute shot for me. So if you put your heel here rather than flat, you can sit into your hip more. And then you just probably want to show there, because you've got good glutes, so don't hide them. That's it, now transition, so relax the arms down. You're going to do very small movements. So remember I said a 30cm ruler with the black tape? You're not going to, look how little I move my feet. So from here, all I'm going to do is keep all the weight onto this front leg, slight step to, well, it'll be my left, step, put all my weight onto the leg, step and get straight into that back position. What I see a lot of girls doing when you're in that glute shot is relaxing this front leg and then trying to step onto the other leg, and then both glutes have dropped, you're going to get marked down straight away. When you're stepping, hip back and up all the time.
On my right?
Yeah, on your right. Perfect. Your hip didn't drop then. When you first did it, first time, I'll show you what you did. So from here, you went, see on my, you stepped in it, and then your glute dropped. Push back and up and twist into the back position, yeah? That's it, perfect. If you're here and you're posing, you want to step back on the foot that you've just done the glute shot on. The easiest way to do it is to transfer your weight onto each side. So as I'm here, I would step back on my right, I transfer my weight onto my left, same thing, pushing my hip back and up, and then as I'm doing that, same tightness on my glute, and I step back into my glute shot. So from here, all you would do is twist the back heel, place it down onto the floor and connect your feet together, or you would bring your front foot forward to go back into whichever front side transition that you would be. Heel to heel, that's it. Sit back into that hip a little bit more, hips, headlights, lift that chest up nice and tall, perfect. Perfect. At the minute, when I've been going to watch them, they'll come in on the left. But that doesn't mean to say that on another show they'll come in from the right, okay? So we'll go through walk. I want everyone to stand at the top for me because we're going to walk all the way down. So right to the top because we're going to do a massive long runway. So when you're walking from the side, you always want to never show the judges full view basically of you. You always want to stand at the side of the stage. You don't have to be in this front shot, but you just want to stand on the side so you're giving them a smaller view of you. So when you're walking on, you want to walk diagonally towards the straight line, towards the front of the stage. They normally have a cross on the edge of the stage, or they'll have like a box, so you'll know where to walk. You just need to judge it. I obviously walk with my left foot forward, so you want to walk with a slight twist in your hips, one foot in front of the other. Don't twist over too much, you just want to slightly twist. So if I'm walking straight in front of you, I'm bringing one foot in front of the other basically, and I'm doing toe heel. So toe heel, twisting my hips towards each side. The reason why I'm doing that is to show that I can show you my glutes at each side. I have to over twist a little bit more. Like I said, I've got no hips, so I have to over twist. When I walk forward, I twist, put all my weight onto the front foot, and then I bring the back leg up. When normal people walk, they don't use the hamstrings to walk, so they just walk flat-footed like that. Yeah? I want you to slightly lean forward when you are walking and bring your foot, a bit like a triage horse. So you want to bring your foot in front of the other, so you're walking like this. Yeah? I start on my left, twisting round, very slow, because you don't want to rush when you're on stage. I cross my feet over, you don't have to over cross as much as I am doing. Are you ready? Off we go then, guys, let me watch you. Michaela, twist your hips a little bit more, try not to be as stiff round the midsection. I'm straight to the point, sorry. If I'm walking, I'll just let my hands go wherever I want to go. Because from forearm down, you want it to be you want fluid. Yeah? Yeah. Walk again for me, and I'm going to twist your hips at the same time. Don't overcross, don't overcross, don't overstep. There we go, there, that's better. You will only be allowed to do your individual routine once. Okay, so for example, I know that you're doing a first timers and open. You'll only be able to do your individual routine once. I'm not going to go through individual routines today because it is individual and you can all make it different. They will get you all lined up on the side of the stage. They'll then bring you out normally in alphabetical order, so it depends on last names. They'll bring you out straight onto the stage and do your individual routine. You'll then go off to the side of the stage, but don't take you off anymore, they keep you on stage. If you fall, walk on, and I want you to walk on and bring yourself diagonally to the side of this stage here. So come over to here and they'll place you on a diagonal line. So this is how they'll set you out on stage. If you are not standing right, all they're gonna see is the bad side of you. Does that make sense? So if you're on a diagonal line, it doesn't matter. I want you to stand front facing the judges. So for example, because Lucy's stood here and the judges are where Adam is, all they're going to see is really a thickness of a waist, and they're not going to see any shape. So if you are on a diagonal line and the judges are facing there, you need to twist yourself so you're still facing front on towards the judges. What they will then do is do call outs. So sometimes they'll do first call outs first, or they'll just bring everyone on and then bring you back and then do first call out. So normally if you're in the first call outs, top 5, second call out, 5th to 10. And that is how it works. When you're in the front line, we'll do comparisons. So I'll hit your front pose. You'll have to hit your front pose straight away. We'll then say to the back ladies, they won't ask you to quarter turn or anything. When they say to the back, you want to straight away go into transitional pose all the way around to the back position. Spin, back shot. We'll get you to hold it for quite a while. So when you're practicing on yourselves, please make sure that you're practicing from 30 seconds to a minute to hold that pose, because trust me, they do get you to hold it for that long. We'll say back to the front ladies, so transition back round, push, push, step into glute shot, and then straight into your transition and back into your front shot. Perfect. When they say thank you, that's when you'd sign off. So there's different ways to sign off. You can go back into your transitional pose, say thank you, and then walk back to where you've come from. Absolutely, they will ask you to walk to the back of the stage. This is literally just so they can see if your glute wobbles. If it wobbles, you'll get marked down, just because you need to keep your hips back and up at all times. This walk is different to how you would walk onto stage, okay? So if you're in your back position and you're in your back pose, I walk forward on my right leg. So whichever leg that you're not walking forward, put your weight onto the other leg. I step there so that I know that everything's tight. You don't have to do that, you can just step together. As long as you're putting your weight onto each side and your hips back and up, that's fine. So from here, I walk forward, keeping my hips back and up, very short, small steps, and you're going straight back into that back position. Perfect, Lucy. Magda, I think you can push your hip back and up a little bit more. It's just, I'm being very critical at the minute because you're good at posing, but you're just dropping your hips just a touch. So if you push your hips back a little bit more and really arch from here, and then do very short steps to the back, yeah? And then your glute won't drop. From here, They will ask you to turn back round to the front and get back into your front position. So all you would literally do is transition back round. So you go back into your transitional pose. So you'd step back in transitional pose, spin back round to the front and hit your front shot straight away. If we all line up into a line for me, and I just want to run through everything that we've covered today, and then if you've got any questions for me for anything that I've run through and you want me to show you anything or anything about show day that you want to ask me, that's the time for it. Yeah? Here you go, glute shot into back shot, so step. From here, I want you to take 3 steps to the back. So put all your weight onto one leg. Take 3 steps to the back for me. Back into your back shot. Transition back to the front, so push on your weight onto the other hip. Step into the glute shot, and then back round to the front straight away. So transition shot, back round to the front. Thank you guys, sign off. Off we go. Give yourselves a massive round of applause, guys. Thank you. Again, if I've missed anything or you want me to go through anything, now's the time to go through it.
Yay, thank you so much.
No worries. Luggage bag.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
So my posing camp, that is it. I've really enjoyed doing this today. Posing is something that is a hobby and something that I do for a living, and I absolutely love teaching girls how to pose. I love the confidence that it brings to other people, and if you are wanting posing coaching with me, if you just message me on Instagram and I can get you booked in for a one-to-one, or if there's any posing seminars coming up and I can get you booked on there. I'll just talk a little bit about the prep that I'm doing now. So obviously I said before that I'm 5 weeks out. This show will be my first show of the year, and then I will be doing Italy on the 11th of September, and then I have been invited to the Arnold's, and the lineup for the Arnold's, if you haven't seen this year, the UK is absolutely insane. Olympia standard lineup, and I am actually shocked when I got the invitation that I was invited again to the Arnold's UK. It's such an honour to be able to represent the UK in the Arnold's, and the show last year was amazing, so I know that this year is going to be 10 times more amazing. Obviously I would love to get to Olympia this year, but that would be my dream. I think if for any IFBB pro, that is the dream, to be able to get onto Olympia. I'm going to try as hard as I can, do the shows that I need to do, and hopefully qualify. If not, I know that next year I can try again and do that. But the off season and this prep this year has been so smooth and so easy. I just happy to be able to bring a better package to stage than I have done last year. I feel like I've grown a lot. I feel like my body's responded a lot better this year, and I just can't wait to see the pictures, to see what I look like on stage and see how I place this year. If you want any more updates, everything is always logged on the Train by JP member site, all my diet, training and everything. You can ask me any questions on there. I hope you guys have enjoyed today, and I will see you next time for another YouTube. See you later.